What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Gyllene Tider from the 1980 self-titled LP. Thank you again to Gebus, as well as all the other rockstars who've been following this journey. And the next tune, according to Google Translate, and this feels like the kind of translation that I would expect to be pretty much on the mark, is "When you fall hard," which, in terms of the sentiment, sounds very much like "when it rains, it pours." The idea that when things don't go your way, in many cases, they really don't go your way, and it's not just a little blip in the road, it's not just a little speed bump, it's not just a minor problem, but they being the problems, can cascade, spiral, spread outward to other areas that weren't part of the initial problem or failure or setback. So yeah, "when you fall hard" seems like an expression of a very similar sentiment, the idea that when bad things happen, they tend to be particularly defeating or difficult to deal with. So I would expect it to be somewhere in there. Obviously, I won't be able to pick up on any nuances on a first listen, though of course there could be some English phrases in there, but I'm not expecting that to be the case. So yeah, I look forward to hearing what people will have to say about the lyrics afterward, but if the Google translation is accurate, I feel like I have a sense for what the title of the song is conveying. In any case, let's give it a listen. This is Gyllene Tider from the album, or from the self-titled album 1980, and the song apparently translates to "When you fall hard." awesome. Again, it's a testament to music as the universal language that there's some moments there in the latter minute or two where, like, intuitively, I kind of got a sense of what it was going to do musically. When it stripped down and it was that very simple drum rhythm, I felt like it was going to take us for a little bit with that rhythm and then build back up, and sure enough, that's what it did. Then, right as it led into the last bar, I had a sense that it was just going to give us a nice clean ending, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, again, sometimes music can be intuitive. Now on the other end of the spectrum, I also enjoy being surprised. Sometimes a song will have like a measure where it has like an extra bar in it, and so rhythmically you're not expecting that, or suddenly it'll really intensify in a way that the first time you hear it you didn't see coming. So I can enjoy the other end of the spectrum. But again, as someone who's listened to techno and music forms that tend to be like standardized rhythmically, there's something to be said for a moment when you're hearing a tune for the first time, but you just know in that intuitive sense exactly what it's going to do, and that can be a very satisfying experience. So a couple moments at the end there that hit me that way. But yeah, like I enjoy the like smooth kind of pop rock meets maybe a bit of rustic. I wouldn't call it folk rock, but it had a bit of like a pop meets folk styling. And in fact, in the first minute or two, I was like, man, if you put Stevie Nicks or Christine McVie's voice here, I could totally hear this as being like a Fleetwood Mac tune. So again, it had a bit of that like the country comes to pop sort of sound to it. And I enjoy Pear. There's a couple moments vocally where he has a bit of scratch, even like one moment, like maybe right around halfway through, where there was a bit of edge to his delivery too. And then of course, you could hear the title phrase, even without hearing, or rather speaking Swedish, the title phrase you could clearly hear, just rolling back in the chorus. So without knowing what else is being said in the verses, I feel like, again, it's likely to be conveying the idea that, life is not usually just a rose garden of joy from beginning to end, and when it does turn stormy, when it does not go in the way that you would hope or that you would want, it often tends to be more than just, a little stumble. It tends to be rough and particularly brutal, and I suppose, knowing that or having experienced that is part of what would help you process it. Now, it's probably more specific. Like, sometimes songs are making a general, like, let's say, philosophical or psycho-emotional point, but they do so through the vehicle of a much more specific narrative. Sometimes first person, sometimes third person, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like that happening here. But again, I like Pear's vocals. I enjoy the combo of the electric guitar, which was jamming, and the acoustic guitar just kind of giving us the rhythm under that. I think there were some keys in there. It wasn't as prominent as some of the other tunes had been, but I think there was some keyboard work. Again, more supportive and accompanying. It's always a difficult word to say, but yes, the arrangement of the tune I think was fitting, and again, it had a bit of a like folk meets pop rock sort of sound to it, so definitely enjoyable one. I look forward to people's comments, any insights you might have. Let me know, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.